We're about to have some brand new GPUs, likely within about a month's time. At CES 2024, it's rumored that NVIDIA is going to announce the Super refresh. There's one GPU in particular I think that they're focusing on. I saw recently on Guru3D.com that the 4070 Super is going to be the one that they're going to basically prioritize and just make a whole lot of them. Why? Well, supposedly it's to compete with AMD 7800 XT. Let's see how the new Super lineup is going to really compare against the stuff that we have now. Starting with the 4070 Super. The 4070, the regular version, actually was kind of popular because at $599 it was expensive, but not nearly as expensive as a 4070 Ti or the much more expensive 4080 and of course 4090. So gamers kind of said, this is, I'm not going to call it a sweet spot, but it's the closest thing to a sweet spot NVIDIA has had for a long time. And even though it only has 12 gigabytes of VRAM, you could also say it has at least 12 gigabytes of VRAM because NVIDIA loves putting 8 gigabytes of VRAM on GPUs that shouldn't have them, like the 4060 Ti, for example. So 4070 is super important for NVIDIA. It was pretty popular and it really hits that nice middle ground. When AMD released their 7800 XT, $100 cheaper, not counting any sales, that GPU took a lot of thunder away from the 4070. And now let's hear a word from our sponsor, VIP-CDKdeals.com, a Windows 10 Pro CD key. Add to cart, you put in code CC20. This will also work on Windows 11. You want to go into your settings in Windows, change and adjust your CD key, click activate, and now let's go back to the video. In a lot of cases, the 7800 XT performed as good, if not a little better than the 4070, which is more expensive. Of course, it doesn't have DLSS 3, which NVIDIA pushes as the really big sort of benefit to the new GeForce RTX 40 series GPUs. I do agree that DLSS 3 is certainly something that a lot of games just, play so much better, like Cyberpunk and Alan Wake 2. So NVIDIA definitely has an advantage there. And obviously with ray tracing and path tracing, NVIDIA is going to have another big advantage. And with a GPU like the 4070, that's around the level where it actually makes sense to use ray tracing and with DLSS 3. It makes it a decent playable experience where you don't necessarily need a 4090 if you're doing like 1440p or something like that. So the 7800 XT is certainly not perfect, but for $100 less, depending on the game that you're playing, it's certainly, the argument could be made that it has a lot of benefits, and therefore that's why NVIDIA is really pushing this 4070 Super, because this particular GPU is definitely going to be, substantially better from the rumors that we're seeing than the 4070, which should mean it should stay well beyond the reach of any 7800 XT. It's going to depend on what NVIDIA prices it at. If they price it at $599, that's going to be very aggressive, the same price as the 4070. $699, I don't know, then it starts to get into that higher tier, like almost a 4070 Ti or so. But $599 would definitely be pretty interesting. The other GPUs in the Super refresh, I'm not sure if they're quite as interesting. I mean, like a 4070 Ti Super, that certainly will come in under a 4080, and it may be appealing to some people if it comes with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. So it's basically almost a 4080 if the performance is better. Now, a 4080 Super, I mean, either you get a 4090, unless the 4080 Super is priced really. It would have to literally come in at maybe like $999 or something like that for it to be really impressive. Because performance-wise, it's probably not going to be as big of a jump as maybe the 4070 Super is. So we definitely want to keep an eye on the 4070 Super because that's the one that NVIDIA is really going to focus on. Let's see what happens. It looks like it's shaping up to be pretty interesting. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.